Hello and welcome to this Back to School with Showbie Basics webinar. My name and your host today is Chris Lawson, and I am Showbie's resident teacher. Today, I'm supported in the background by our wonderful Sarah, who will be able to field any questions that you may have, answer them, or pass them on to me through our channel. And I'll be able to answer and hopefully cover them through the session. But if you do need any further help or support, do mention or ask those questions in that question and answer section. Today's session is all about the basics of Showbie. So if you've joined us and you're a bit of a pro at Showbie, there is a second webinar just after this one at 4 o'clock, which you may be more inclined to join, which will be going in a little bit more depth. So today, I am delighted to have been asked by Showbie to present to you on Showbie Basics. I am a resident teacher here at Showbie, which means I am a full-time classroom teacher in a UK primary school, a year 6 class teacher, teaching 10 and 11-year-olds. I've been a teacher since 2012. I'm a long-time Showbie user and a Showbie certified educator. And our school is in the wonderful position to have a mix of one-to-one iPad, shared iPad, and also have a wide range of PCs too. And Showbie asked me to do a little bit of they said to put an interesting fact in. So I put in the fact that penguins, a group of them, are called a waddle. And then they explained that they wanted me to put an obsession or something about me. So I've put that I have an obsession with penguins. So talk about miscommunication, but hopefully today the communication that I can give to you will help you to feel confident in taking your first steps with Showbie and really be able to make the most out of it in your teaching and learning environment. So let's take a good old look around and see what we can get on with here. So what is Showbie? Showbie is the hybrid learning platform. And what that means is it means that Showbie is able to allow teachers to deliver quick and easy and rich personalized feedback to students of all abilities on any device. And it's this personalization and ability for the teacher to give different work to different students and to provide personalized feedback, which is important and most importantly is current for that particular student in really easy ways that not only save time, but make teaching and learning that much more impactful in the same sense. So let's have a look at what we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to take a close look at how to get started in Showbie, and we're going to look at very basic, starting at the ground up where we enter in a class which is empty. I'll show it from a teacher perspective, and I'll also show it from a student perspective for you. And we'll talk about how to get your students signed up, how to get them signed in. And then we'll take a look at being prepared, how we go about doing that. And then we'll move slightly further on and look at personalizing that teaching and learning and how you can do that in Showbie. And then we'll finish with some top tips from myself and how you can take it a little bit further. So today I am going to be sharing my screen with you, which is going to show you 2 different iPads. So let's have a look here. And this is where I ceremoniously wait for my behind the scenes Sarah to tell me that she can see it before I continue with the whole webinar. And it goes slightly on. There we go. Fantastic. So let's make a start here. So on the left-hand side, as you look, you should be able to see a larger iPad, and on the right-hand side, a smaller one. The left-hand side is the teacher device, and the right-hand side is the student device. And I have moved past the way to sign up a class. It's super simple and super easy to do so. And it's simply a case of putting in your name and your email and then going through a couple of steps, and you'll end up on a screen that will look like this. So let's have a delve in here and see how we can do this. So one of the things which you can know about Showbie is the way that you sign in can also be done via SSO. So if you used Google or Office 365 emails or FIDA, you can actually use that to log into Showbie to get to this point too. We're going to now go through the basic steps of creating a class. So depending on the place in the world that you are, the settings icon or wrench or spanner in the top left-hand corner of the screen will provide you with the series of options. The first option here is for a new class. So that is for you to create one. There is a join class option, and there is an archived option, which is where you might have some already created. But obviously, if you're starting out from scratch, this is where we want to go. So we're going to create a new class and we'll call it August Webinar. And we'll certainly give it a capital because my students wouldn't allow that. And then you can see that we've got a couple of different options. I don't want to overwhelm you with this at this point in time, but a couple of the options including parent access and student-led portfolios. We're going to turn those off for now. And also you can see here it says need help making a new class. You can always tap on that to get some more information. Here you've been given a class code, and this is how your students will access your class. There are also a series of security options which you can choose from by approval, meaning you have to say yes or no to each student, or closed. I'm going to leave it open for this one, and we can click on save here now, and then click save. This has now created our class. And if we go over onto the student device now, we can see that I have no classes available. So invite your students by sharing this class code. So I'm going to go and tap on the plus icon over here. And I'm going to select on join a class, and I'm going to type in the K4M28. Always be very careful typing this in, make sure it definitely joins the class that you want. And we can see here now that that has joined the class known as August Webinar. So we can go into here now. Whoops, there we go. And we can see that in the class settings options here, or class members, we have a student and his name is Chris Showbie. Now, you will see here this wonderful little QR code icon. If I tap on this here, we can actually go and look at the QR code. And this is a QR code which can be printed off in bulk or individually for each and every student. And it's so simple to log in. So I'm actually going to log out. I'm going to click sign in. I'm going to sign in this time with a QR code. Oh, there's my Rubik's Cube. I'm going to tap on it there. And then I'm in the class just like that. I'm also going to just refresh that code just in case anyone wants to take a screenshot of it and try and get into the class. As a result, it is confidential. It is a password, so do always be wary of that. But now you can see on the right hand side as a student, I am logged in and ready to go. But unfortunately at the moment, I don't have any assignments. So that is the next step that I'm going to take. So tapping again on the cog, wrench, whatever icon you want to class it, and tapping on new assignment will bring up the following option. So this I'm going to put in as a welcome. I'm going to click save. Now, you will have noticed there were a series of other options before I clicked on that. These were due date, student access, schedules, and the opportunity to copy an assignment. Again, don't worry, this is a basics webinar. It's about the basic things to get up and running. However, if you did want to set a due date, you can set that within here. This is a free feature within Showbie. I might want it collected on or due on the 6th. And I actually might want it to be open, closed, or view only. For now, I'm going to have it as editable. I could also set it to open or close using the scheduling feature here. But again, not to overwhelm, let's keep it nice and simple to start with. We've got an assignment here, which is called August Webinar. And we've got one student in the class at this point in time, which is called Chris Showbie. A little bit later in the session, I will jump in and I will show you what a big class, a proper class which is built out looks like, just so you can see, but we're trying to start easy for now. So if we go into this here now, we can see that we've got a webinar assignment, but then we don't at this point in time have any content in it. And we want to change that. So we're going to go and use this shared items folder that I've highlighted blue on the teacher iPad there. Now, the shared items folder is critically important because this is where all your content is stored for your students for the whole class. You can assign to individual students like this, but in this case, we've got this shared items folder. And here we can jump into it straight away. And I can put, even using Siri dictation or Cortana or whichever one you're using, depending on your device setup, you could put, "Hi everyone, welcome to this basics webinar." And post, and then you'll see on the right hand side that instantaneously that comes up there. So this is really important because it allows you to send content to particular students in a really effective way. So for a moment, I'm just going to pop off the screen back to this one whilst I get into my other account to show you a couple of the more in-depth features which you can get from within Showbie. Still being basics though, so don't worry too much. So let's see here as we log back into here. Okay, so now we're going to move on and we're going to look at a couple of other options. One option in particular, one feature in particular, is the use of the shared items folder. So for the shared items folder, I'm going to jump into one of my classes which I'll be using next week when I go back to school. So jumping back over now, you'll see that my options have changed slightly, or my teacher iPad has changed slightly. And I am going to just sign one of my students in as well. So here we go. So I'm going to maths, class members like I did before. And this time I'm going to sign in as Freddie. So I'm going to go off here, sign out, prove how easy it is, sign in with QR code, select the QR code, Alpha, and we're in. Fantastic. So I'm now signed in as Freddie and we are raring to go. Now, you will see here that there are some folders. Just to point out, this is a pro feature, so something that you can aspire towards when you start to build your knowledge of Showbie. But what I'm going to show you here is totally free. So I'm going to create an assignment and it's going to be called Maths Support Edition. Like so. And I'm going to assign that as an assignment and we'll see it go there. And then click save. There we go. And you can see now I'm in the account called Maths Support Edition. I can actually go onto the student device and you'll be able to see in the right hand corner, this is known as the notification center or the activity center. You'll be able to see here that I have uploaded something into Maths Support Edition. If I tap on that, then that will take me to this particular place. At the moment, it's saying there's nothing in there because we've not yet done anything, but do not fear. We've got an opportunity to do so now. So I'm going to go to my shared items folder and I'm going to start with something nice and simple that's actually built into the Showbie system for all free users. And that is the new document feature. So tapping on new document will allow me, this is one of my top tips, allow me to create a document on the fly, nice and quickly, nice and simply, nice and easily, that will allow you as a teacher to create a blank Word page, PDF, a dotted, a music manuscript, or squared. I'm in maths here, so I'm going to click squared, and I'm going to create 2 pages. Tap on the word create, and that's going to create a document called my document. I'm going to call it Edition Help. So rename Edition. So as a teacher now, I am going to create a question or a series of questions to help this student with their addition. So the squared paper is already created. I'm going to do a quick 237 plus 146. Oh, I'm challenging myself there with an exchange. I might leave that blank. And I might do a second one here, plus 17241896, like so, and click done. What that has now effectively done is saved that and then pushed that out to every single student in the class. As you can see on the right-hand side on the student version, you can actually see the work has already been pushed out to the student, again, instantaneously, so without delay. This has been sent out to everyone, and this, for me, is my top tip for the be prepared. Oh, it's not finished yet. Don't worry, guys. Whew, that would have been quick. So this is my big top tip, and it's all about using the shared items distribution folder. Here you can see the shared items distribution folder. This allows you to either, as you're uploading a document or afterwards post, to change who you send this document to. So at the moment you can see it's highlighted to everyone. So tapping on everyone, I can change it and I can select just Freddie and Adam and Sarah and click save. Now that will save anything new that I post to just Freddie, Adam and Sarah. So I could add another new document, I could add a photo, I could add anything I so wished into that, and it'd just send it to those 3 children. What you can also do though is any work that you've already sent, do the exact same thing by tapping on that little bit of blue. So actually, I don't want to send this work to Freddie at this point in time, so I'm going to remove Freddie. And if you keep an eye on the right-hand side, you will see that that piece of work will be removed, and that's now gone. So Freddie can't see it, but the other 28 students can. This has a massive impact on my teaching in my classroom because it means I can send specific work to specific students without them particularly knowing, and this is the important bit, without them knowing that they're different or that they've got a different one. So I could create 3 worksheets and do so. However, I don't want to leave Freddie out all the time. Maybe I can just jump back in there, and then you'll see that that comes up on the screen. There's also a wonderful feature in here, which is called send to no one. So by selecting no one or none and clicking save, this will post content to Showbie, but it won't go out to any of the students until you choose to release it. Now, this is really useful because what it allows you to do is I could add a folder from my file. For example, here we go. Going to year 6, I could go into my there we go, my timetable for the year. I've uploaded that now. There's my timetable, but I don't want to share it with everyone. So you see here how Freddie's just got it. I don't want to do that. So I want to tap on that and I want to end, share to no one and save. So I've got my timetable in that class, but no one else can see it other than myself. And this is really useful for me. I can keep track of where I'm doing and what I'm doing as well. So the shared items folder throughout Showbie allows you to push out different content. I am going to show you something here, which is a free feature that allows you and shows the scope of being able to do this. And it's my top tip. So I've jumped to the end, but this is my spelling test that I do with my students. And here you can see where I've actually pushed out lots of different spelling tests to different children. So 17 children have got this one, for example. So we can check on those. So those children have moved further on than the next set. And these are all voice notes that I've recorded here. So you can see there's an opportunity and scope to use things slightly differently within Showbie too. So just going through my little list to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything as we go. We are looking at now, we've looked at inviting students, QR codes, creating a class, scheduling assignments, send to no one, Microsoft and Google Uploads, and the shared items folder. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump back into that maths class, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more around the different opportunities for personalizing your teaching using Showbie. So just give you a second to take a breather, and for me to take a breather too. Keep saying thank you. It's not time yet. There we go. Okay, so here now, we've got an opportunity. I'm actually going to upload another document I want to upload. So go to import file. I'm going to my subjects. I'm going to go into maths. So this is using my OneDrive, Office 365 OneDrive. Here we go. I'm going to upload. Where have they gone? Upload that revision grid. Okay, so you can see nice and simple, a couple of taps and there it is uploaded. So here I've got a teaching resource, which I use quite often with my students. You can see it's a multi-page document. And here we've got lots of different questions asking lots of different things for the students to complete in a revision grid. And the answers on the next page. So I'm rapidly looking for a nice simple one. So, okay, so for example here, we could say collecting like terms. So simplify A, and A, if that's 3A. So we could then go onto the student device, navigate to the page in question. And then obviously I'm attempting to mock something up here, but the whole concept and idea here, would be that the student would have worked on this whole worksheet. We can write 3A in, and they've got that one correct. Simplify 3A and 2B and 5A and 4B. Oh, this is testing me now. So A and A is 8A. And then plus 2B minus 4 is minus 2B. I'm going to put plus 2B because I've got it slightly wrong. I'm going to click done on that. And then I'm actually going to go back to my activity center, which will now tell me that student has written on that document. And we can go there and we can see that it's been written on. So I'm going to go to that particular point using my activity center. And then this is where it comes into its own. So I can see that this student has got this wrong. So as a teacher now, I can go in with either a written comment, slightly thinner pen tool. You can see here you've got lots of different options of colors and so forth. You can even use the highlighter tool to really aid the understanding of 4B and 2B and of 3A and 5A, like that, and then highlight that underneath. So I'm actually using color to help and support the student, but there's nothing better than voice. And so I'm being able to tap on this and then say, hey, I just want to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on here and how it works. So make sure that when you've got 2 of something and then you are 4 less, then it's going into the negative. So it would be minus 2B, not plus 2B. Click save. Once that's uploaded for that student, that voice feedback, imagine having to do that for 30 of my children. I click done, and then that will actually send a notification to the student to say that Mr. Lawson has commented on this, he's wrote on it, you can tap on it, it takes you to the exact same place in the Showbie account, and then we can see that voice note is there, and then say, hey, I just want to make sure that you understand exactly. So you can see here, super quick, super easily, you've got handwriting, the ability to use emojis for feedback just by using emojis within the whole system on iOS and also on the web app. And then you've also got the opportunity to go through these revision grids, things like that, and use the pinned comments, which I'll demonstrate to you now. Bear with me, just reset that for me. There we go. So we were in maths and we were in math support edition. You can see that Freddie's written on it because it's got that little icon. And we're just going to go and I'm just going to show a pinned comment. So pinned comment here is in the exact same way. It also works if you've got an Apple Pencil with Apple Scribble. Be careful. There we go. And then that will send out to all the students in the class as well. So that is another opportunity. You also have the opportunity for text boxes as well. So -5 minus 16 would be minus 21. So we can go minus 21 and do that there. Click off it. And then we can manipulate that and pop that in its place, tap away, and then you can see it's lovely and clear to the teacher underneath the answer there. So lots of opportunities for using different multiple text types, using different opportunities with highlighter and pen tools. And obviously, in my personal opinion, using voice to full effect is what makes it all the better. I am going to come off now the student one, and I'm just going to quickly show you what's a fantastic feature, which is known as, and I'm going to use an example from last year. Here we go. So this is real class data. So this is how my Showbie class looked this time last year. So I'm going to go into one here. This is a free feature. So again, showing you how I created a template using the squares. I just wrote down a number and I wanted the students to try and show me this number using pictorial representation. There's a feature in Showbie on both the web app and the iOS app, which is my top tip. And the tip is known as the opportunity to use quick marking. Quick marking allows you as a teacher to jump from one to another super easily, super quickly. So let's take a look here. Tapping in the top left-hand corner, you'll see this little class icon on the first tap. We can see we're sat in the shared items folder at the moment. So this is just my writing, but we can go into Freddie's and we can have a look through Freddie's work here. So here we can see Freddie's done 2,309 and 1, and I've given it a tick. We can actually see what Freddie's done and what I've done by tapping in this top right-hand corner and getting rid of Freddie's, and you can see what I've been left behind from my marking and what I did as a shared instruction. So you can see the different options and different layers there. That's another really handy feature. But the quick marking feature allows me now, using this little arrow to the right, to move to Seb's and see how he did, and then to Freddie, and then Will's, and so on. So I can see really quickly until we get to this one. So this one where Adam's done it, we can see that he hasn't done 2,000, he's done 3. And then I've gone in and crossed that out again. Let's have a look at the layer tool. You can see what Adam wrote and what I fed back. So this allowed us to have a conversation in class around where he's gone wrong, how he needs help and support. And just being able to tap on this arrow allows me to do that. I also can tap, again, this is a free feature, this is not pro, allows me to tap on this element here, and I can jump to any of his work within this folder or assignment and then see how he's got on with it. So I can see how he got on with this, for example, and just jump straight to this worksheet, which is a lovely thing to be able to do. Go to page 2, see how he got on there. And then I really do love this as a feature within Showbie. I can zoom in to this particular question here. I want to look at all students who've answered that question. So I'm going to go to the next one. They didn't answer it. They weren't in the school at the time. Here we go. So I'm now looking to see any students who've answered that particular question and how they got on with it. Oh, so there's one. Did they get it right or wrong? And you can see how quickly I'm working my way through this class. I could be doing it for the whole PDF, but you can also see here, I can zoom in on one, go to the next student, and it will keep it at that exact viewpoint, which is an amazingly high functionality, and it saves an immense amount of time. You can imagine if you're in a multiple page Word or PDF document, having to navigate your way through that. And so that is the end of my top tip, which is to use the Showbie quick marking feature to gain as much information, well, to make your life and feedback and marking as easy as possible within Showbie. So I am going to have a little look at my message center and see if there's any questions that have come in. Thank you to everyone who has been able to attend today. It's really good of you to take your time out. I hope if you are back at school, it's been a great back to school, or if it has been maybe a little bit trying for you or you're due back soon, I hope that it is one of joy and happiness for you, because I know I'm certainly looking forward to getting back. I haven't seen any questions come through that haven't been answered by myself or Sarah already, But if you do have a question, now's the perfect time to pop that into the question and answer section or the chat. And Sarah and I will be more than happy to help you. We deliberately finished this session slightly earlier than the hour advertised to give people the opportunity to ask any questions, and maybe even to say, can you just show me this feature, or could you show me this or that? So just give you a moment now if you want to ask any question or answers, to pop it into the Q&A chat. If you do, after this webinar, have any questions, or if you feel the need to ask any questions regarding this webinar or any other questions that you might have regarding Showbie, you've got my email here at chris@showbie.com, which will allow you to get through to me and ask any questions that you might have. And that brings this Showbie Basics with back to school for you as basic users who are starting to get used to Showbie. If you've got any questions, let me know. There's a second webinar later today at 4 p.m. GMT in an hour's time, which will go through in more detail some of the more complex features of Showbie. All it leaves me to say is thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you soon.